Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the Dark Horse Nickelodeon collab, Avatar: The Legend of Korra, Ruins of the Empire. Ruins of the Empire. So this is a 3-book series, right? 1, 2, 3. Awesome books from 2019 to 2020. So Ruins of the Empire is another sequel to The Legend of Korra. So we had The Legend of Korra. We had 4 seasons of The Legend of Korra on Nickelodeon and Nick.com respectively. Been on Netflix for a couple months now. I don't remember when it first premiered on Netflix. But you got Avatar: The Last Airbender and you got Avatar: Legend of Korra on Netflix. I'm a big Avatar fan. I've had my tattoos for many years. Probably a decade, now that I think about it. Fire, Air, Water, Earth, the Avatar cycle. Starting with Avatar 1, the original firebender that he was. So, Ruins of the Empire. What empire? The Earth Empire, right? So, at the end of Legend of Korra, you had Kuvira, the Great Uniter, trying to take claim to Republic City. So, you had Team Avatar, and you have Asami's team, you had Varric's team, you had all these different people trying to stop Kuvira and the Earth Empire. So, Kuvira surrendered to Korra 3 months ago, according to this story. So this is now 3 months later. We already had a series called Turf Wars. I'm glad I have all my comics and books right next to me so I can look at them for reference. That was the sequel right after the end, literally right after the end of the finale of the show is when that book series started. And then this series is 3 months later. So Kuvira surrendered, right, to the Republic City. She disavowed the Earth Empire, but Commander Guam did not surrender the Earth Empire. So he's still been going strong in this one particular city and refuses to surrender. So now he's trying to gain up the Earth Empire again, but this time around, King Wu, who we love King Wu. We also love that he secretly loves Mako, and that's a nice little fun twist. And it's cool having, Asami and Korra be all romantic and kissy throughout different scenes. So it's cute. It's representation matters. It's authentic to see it. It's very true to the characters and the development. But every time Wu grabs onto Mako or hugs him and kicks his foot up, it's just adorable. It's King Wu and Mako. Mako just cannot stand him, but it's just fun. So Wu is trying to have the Earth Kingdom as a whole come up with a democratic way of electing a governor or president per state. And he wants to do it kind of quick. So he kind of throws together this thing. There's one particular city, Guaning, I think that was the name. I can't remember the name, is starting the electoral process. But Commander Guan is now putting his casting ballot as a contender to be on the ballot as governor for this city. So Korra and Wu go to find Toph in the swamp to see if she can, be the governor, because she is from there originally, and she, is not really a people person, so it makes sense that she's an elder of the city, so people would respect her more. And she kind of agrees to it half-heartedly, but in the process, Kuvira is released into Team Avatar's custody to try to get Commander Guan to surrender. So it's this whole back and forth, he said, she said, and then there's this brainwashing stuff that the Dai Li used to do, but then the Earth Empire kind of perfected with modern tech versus, the ancient ways. So it's pretty creepy. Then having Asami, Mako, and Bolin, and then Wu, respectively, all under this brainwashing bit of Commander Guan. Of course it's broken because Kuvira and company go back to Zaofu. She meets up with her ex-fiance, Batar Jr. They create a means of healing Asami's brain. And we get some backstory on Kuvira, which is pretty neat as well. Like how she came into the Beifong's family when she was a young kid. How she almost killed her mom. Not on purpose, but she has anger issues, and we know that. But it was neat seeing that, character development of why she is who she is and how she got to where she is because of who she is. Ooh, that was a lot of ises. I liked it. So it was neat having that final battle of putting Guan in his place and de-brainwashing everybody with a new machine, and having President Zhu Li trying to figure out, you know, what's the diplomatic way of going about this. She doesn't want to start another war, all these things. And they all lived happily ever after, with Kuvira being released to Sue's custody, living back at Zaofu, at the Beifeng estate at Zaofu, the metal clan that they are. So it's going to be interesting having Batar Jr. and Kuvira back under the same roof. Will they not get back together? Must we read the next series to see? I'm very excited. But I loved, one thing I absolutely loved about this three-part series, especially the cover art, right? Beautiful, excellent, superb. There wasn't anything to do with spirits in this. No spirit world, no spirit guides, no spirit nothing. It was straight up bending abilities. Earth, air, fire, water, right? Fire, air, water, earth, if you want to get all technical. You got your metal bending, Bolden threw out some lava bending. It was pretty neat. But there was nothing to do with spirits. It was just straight up diplomatic, who stole an election and who needs to be punished because of stealing an election, and insurrection demands accountability. And I'm reading this and I'm like, holy shit, this is literally the times we're living in. And this series came out a year ago. So it's kind of frightening having art imitate life a year prior to when an insurrection actually happened, or tried to happen. But it was creepy. Like, I got chills. So another fun little thing. When you're an Avatar fan, you hear the music in your head, regardless. Whether you're watching the show, whether you're reading the books. So I'm reading the first part. Where am I? Part 1. I'm reading part 1, and I'm hearing the songs, and I'm hearing, like, because there's, like, certain points of, like, the songs where, like, the orchestra will get higher, or, like, the violins will play louder because, like, a character made a revelation or something like that. Things like that. So then a character made a revelation in part 1, and I'm like, oh, I hear the violins. And I was like, oh, I need the music. So I found a soundtrack on Amazon Music. It's book 1 of Legend of Korra. If you have Amazon Music or Amazon Prime, you can actually listen to it. So I listened to the soundtrack as I'm reading part 2 and part 3, and it was just kept up with that Avatar charm and that Avatar feel. So it's always great. It's great being a fan. It's great. It's an honor being in this fandom. We all have our beautiful theories and whatnot, but it's pretty cool when we can talk about these things. And of course, I can't remember all the names of the places and people, and it's just like Star Wars. You can't remember all the names of the places and people. Or any fandom for that matter. I can't remember. The Vampirates fandom, I can't remember all the names and places of people and things. Or Percy Jackson, can't remember the names and places of people and things. All of them I cannot remember. Certain things, of course, stand out, but it is what it is. That's how my memory works. Sometimes it's wonky, sometimes it's impeccable, but we'll put it in the meh medium sector of the day. Now, how I read these, I don't read these when these come out. I wait until all of the whole series is released. So, like, there's an Avatar Last Airbender series that's out, which I haven't read yet, but it's 1, 2, and 3, books 1, 2, and 3, part 1, 2, and 3. Have to get to that. There's a Lost Airbender stories. I haven't read that yet. I think there's another Korra series that started. Haven't read that yet, but we'll get to it. I got my list of books. I got to go through Walking Dead, I got to get through Rick and Morty, then I got to get through City of the Plague God, and then Avatar, The Last Airbender, The Rise of Kyoshi, and The Shadow of Kyoshi. And then I got to jump to the Kane Chronicles, and then I got to jump to Heroes of Olympus. I got a lot of things to read, and watch, and play Pokemon-wise. And crochet, I'm doing another awesome blanket. I'm very proud of myself. I just got to wait for yarn to come in. There's a lot going on in the arts world. There's a lot going on. Yes, okay. Avatar, The Legend of Korra, Ruins of the Empire. Why I can't remember that name, it's beyond me, but it goes back to what I was saying. My memory's kind of right now. Ruins of the Empire, 3-book series. Go check it out. Mucho mahalo.